Hey guys, what up? In today's video, we will talk about how to crash your DJI drone. I mean, not crash your DJI drone. But first, let's go to the gym. I have flied my DJI drone about 100 times, 16 hours. Officially crashed it 2 times and nearly crashed it multiple times. I know some of my subscribers use DJI too, so just want to share my experience with you. There are 3 stages to fly a DJI drone: the launching, the flying, and the landing. Firstly, we talk about the launch. Regarding crash a drone during the launch, yes, actually you can do that. Especially when you are doing the hand launch and you use the joystick to start the propellers. After the propellers start to rotating, actually the lift power is not enough to send it up. You need to continue to push the joystick up to send it up. If you somehow stop to send it up, the drone will start to drop, and due to the high altitude, it will drop down to cut your hand or crash the drone. Luckily, that time when I come across that, I was swift enough to send it up again. If you didn't react swift enough, it will drop, it will crash. So let's talk about the next one. Secondly, let's talk about the crash during flying. Actually, it's very safe if you check out the surrounding, plan your shot, but try not to fly across a tunnel or behind the building, because in that case, you will activate the auto return function. The drone will try to save it from the down pilot, which is us. It might cause trouble. But there are 2 scenarios I want to talk about. The first scenario I want to talk about is fly above water, because when you fly above the water, the reference of the height is very difficult. It's not possible to keep checking the reading. So it's just based on your eyes, and you might be doing some crazy stuff, chase a boat from high to low. That is very likely to crash the drone. I almost crashed it once. So my recommendation will be, you can try to keep the drone in your sight, or you can try to fly it low to high so it will not cause trouble. And in the editing part, you can try to reverse it if that's possible, to at least save you from crash the drone. The second scenario I want to talk about is the monitor. In my case, it's the iPhone XS. I think it's more than power enough to use a DJI fly, but sometimes the image will start to jagging or even frozen. What you can do is just restart the program, reconnect the cable, and hopefully it will back to work. Luckily for me, it did go back to work. But I think it's not the problem of the drone, because even I don't have the image being transmitted, I can operate the drone if it was in my sight. It's actually reacted to my control, so I think that is because the cell phone is too hot to handle that. But what if you cannot get the image back and the drone is far away from you? Well, you better set the correct setting before that happens. We'll talk about that in the landing part. By the way, if you're wondering, can you fly a drone indoor? Actually, yes, you can, because flying indoor is just like a fly outdoor without a GPS. Just be careful, you need to have good condition propellers, so when it's lifted, it will not drifting because it's in attitude mode. You can test it outdoor. Forgot to say, and also set it to tripod mode, so if you move the joystick, it won't move rapidly. And I don't think it's worthy, but my case is, I mentioned I crashed 2 times, right? One time is actually flying indoor. Although I set it to tripod mode, but still it was too narrow, and I didn't correctly enough, it crashed. And now let's talk about the landing. So it has auto landing and manual landing. Basically, I never use the auto landing, because as you can see, I fly the drone under the tree, which if I send it back, it will definitely crash. So what I do is, I mentioned I crashed 2 times, right? One time was crashed at home. The second time is actually when I bring the drone back, I disable the sensor. With the sensor, the drone won't fly back because it knows there is something. And after disable the sensor, I thought it can fly back, but it hit the branch and crashed into the ground. Luckily, it was almost the same. It had dirt behind it, so the drone didn't crash badly, just damaged the propellers, which I replaced, and good to go. So definitely watch out if you do the same thing, you bring it back manually. Make sure the drone is lower than the obstacle, because if you notice the camera is a little bit below than the propellers, so just be careful about that. And I think that's it for me. Need to go back. See you next time, and stay safe.